Hi, my name is Garrett Christopher. This is my, what's this, a YouTube channel. This is called Garrett's Movie Take. I've got 3 of these. There's Garrett's Sports Take. I haven't done anything for a while. I did predict, and so far I'm right on track for the Super Bowl. So this weekend coming up, you got the AFC and NFC championships. Now I chose the Rams and the Chiefs to meet in the Super Bowl, and so far it's going as planned. We'll see what happens. And then, I also have Garrett's Take. I haven't done one of those for a while. And you know what? I just need to have some good content. I mean, there's some stuff in there, but it's either too personal or just not interesting enough. So we'll hold off on that. But I did want to talk. Now, I gave a little how can I put it? Homage, I guess, to Clint Eastwood a couple weeks back. And I want to do some more homage to him, but I want to talk about a particular movie, which of course he wrote and directed and starred in and that kind of thing. And I want to talk about why it's so intriguing to me and something about myself that I kind of have known for a number of years. But by the way, please visit my website, GaretChristopher.com, and you'll find out more about me. I'm a self-published author. I've got 5 novels out. I've got 3 audiobooks available on Audible and iTunes. I also have, so these, and then a weekly podcast that I'm doing right now. I'm presenting on my podcast, which is available on Spotify and Soundcloud. I'm presenting my latest audiobook, The Takeover, part 1 of a sci-fi series, in its entirety. Of course, in snippets, right? Like 10, 15-minute snippets each week. And right now, I think we're already through 10 sections. So heck, you can get about an hour and a half of the audiobook. Just check it out and listen. And I've got some guest speakers in there or guest hosts or whatever. And just kind of talk about, each section as I go into it. So please let me know. And by all means. Okay. So, Clint Eastwood, been around forever, done a million things, just a great, great guy. And I don't love everything he does, but like I said that one time when I did the one specifically about him, I like Clint so much that I actually liked, I guess in the present tense, Bronco Billy. So, if you like Bronco Billy, you really like Clint Eastwood. Anyway, let's talk about $1 Million Baby. So, in the inner core, I'm sorry, this jacket's making all kinds of noise, but so be it. In my deepest core, right? My emotions and feelings and all that, I'm a depressing individual. Depressing and depressed. I really am. And yet there's so many things about life that I just really love. Cheeseburgers, pizza, comic books, to name a few. There's a bunch of things, sports and all kinds of stuff, right? And some things I don't want to share with you. But anyway, so, but I'm also drawn, and I talked about this before too, I'm drawn toward kind of depressing movies, I think. Emotional. I like to look at them as they're emotional, kind of emotion-filled, and they kind of draw you in, and there's a human element to them and all that kind of a thing. And you definitely have that in this movie. But like 7 Pounds, for instance. I really like that movie, and it's kind of depressing. Pursuit of Happiness. I really like that movie, and it's kind of depressing. I mean, it ends up real well. Oops, sorry, spoiler alert. It kind of ends up really well. But yeah, so emotion and I guess love lost and trying to get the love of your life and yet can't quite get her or him or whatever, and I just striving for and not quite reaching, right? Is that a microcosm to my own life? Who knows? Like you said, I'm kind of wacky, so I wouldn't put too much stock into all that. But, okay, so $1 Million Baby. If you've not seen it, watch it. But I must say this, the last half an hour is rough. Really rough. And, I mean, I would say that some kind of turn it off, when it kind of gets to certain and just kind of find out what happens at the end. But okay, but here's why it's one of my favorites, and here's why I can watch it, and especially the first half, over and over and over again. So I'm watching it the other night just to kind of like review, right, before I was going to do this little talk here, Garrett's movie, what do I call these? Episode. And I'm watching. My mind wanders a lot. You can tell every time I do one of these, you can tell my mind's like going everywhere, and I just change subjects like the wind. Like the wind. But for a good hour straight, there was no change of thought. There was no, the wind was nice and steady, baby. Because I was so enraptured with the film, with the characters, with the acting, with how it all kind of came together. And I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, well, you got Clint Eastwood. You've got Morgan Freeman. You got Hilary Swank. And a lot of other people, Anthony Mackie's in it, a lot of other people that have now gone on to do bigger things. So I'm like, no doubt. Oh, yeah, like the main boxer. It's just, he's like this physical presence, just amazing. Anyway, so you've got the people, yeah, the star, quality is there. But beyond that, to me, it's just, wow. Wow. So real. Everyone looks like they're in their element. Everyone is so believable. And everyone is so, yeah, just, man, it just worked out. And I don't know how easy or difficult it was for Clint and Hillary to kind of have their conversations. And, Clint, for the most part, in this movie is a lot like he was in Gran Torino. A lot of the latest movies of his. It's a typical kind of grumpy older guy, and family is either gone, like in Gran Torino, his wife had passed away recently, and he doesn't really have a good connection with his children. In this case, in this movie, again, no spoiler, but his daughter and he are estranged, and so so you've got that element, and that's kind of typical for him, and to kind of like smart aleck comments back and forth, and he and Morgan have some good repartee as far as that's concerned. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I'm just watching it. And then halfway through, then you get into it because then there's some boxing stuff happening and then you start getting mad because you're really engaged in the characters. I think he does an incredible job of setting up the emotional side for the viewer, right? Picking your characters. Who do you really like? Who are you fighting for? Who are you rooting for type of thing, right? Well, it's definitely Hillary. You find out that Hilary Swank is the one you're really rooting for. But you're also rooting for Morgan Freeman and his character to a degree. You're just, I don't know, a lot of stuff. And I guess that, excuse me, in my personal kind of lifestyle and situation, there's some likenesses there. Not that I'm a boxer. Trust me, I couldn't throw a punch to save a life. I'll drink punch, but to throw one, no, it's not going to happen. But there are things as far as a down and out type of thing that are in there. So again, I go back to when I first said, as far as like, I like kind of depressing type movies and all that. And this, I think, could be considered as that. But it's a heck of a movie. There are a lot of ups in the film. There's some great acting. And more than that, the relationships. And there's not lovey-dovey scene. None of that stuff, right? It's just, not that I'm against that, but that's not what it's about. Just the camaraderie of certain people from different walks of life, how they've come together, and how they kind of find common goals and humanity with one another, right? I think Clint does a really good job with that. He did the same thing in Gran Torino. I know I keep alluding to that, but I really like that movie too. And yeah, lots of stuff like that. So if you haven't seen it, you probably have. But if you haven't seen it, please watch it. $1 Million Baby. By the way, as time goes on, heck, $1 million is, remember like Austin Powers? 1 million, which is like nothing, right? They kind of laughed at it. Same thing. In 10 years from now, this is going to be like $1 Billion Baby, because $1 Million Baby won't mean anything. That means something to me, but to most people, no. So $1 Billion Baby, right? In any case, heck of a film. If you have seen it, watch it again for me, at least the first half, just because it's so darn good. That's the way I see it. Anyway, maybe I was just emotional that night, and I didn't cry, and I can't cry in movies. I didn't cry in this case, but it's a really good film. Yeah. So again, Clint, do a heck of a job, and $1 Million Baby is something special. I really feel that. Again, the last half hour, really, really rough, but it's a really good film. So that's my take on $1 Million Baby. Please check it out. And you have a great afternoon or evening. It's afternoon here. And yeah, there we have it. Again, visit my website, please, por favor, GaretChristopher.com, and take care. All right, until next time, adieu. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording.